What do you want the audience to think and feel about something you've created?
That it wasn't a waste of their time to consume it, first and foremost. Hopefully that they were entertained. Hopefully that they feel it was smart and taking them, respecting them and their intelligence. That it felt true somehow, maybe emotionally, or just that they see snippets of what their experience as a human being in the world is. And ideally that something surprised them, but then after they saw it again, it felt true to them. Yeah, I think to forget for 2 hours that they are watching a movie, because hopefully the acting is authentic enough and the story is engaging enough that you can just escape reality for 2 hours.
So it doesn't even mean that they have to love it, it just means that they feel that it was real, that they were actually either an observer in a scene, sitting across from the protagonist, or just...
I mean, it helps if they love it. I love if they love it. Totally, that's the added bonus. But I would settle for, because that is such a high standard already these days, that it's not a waste of your time, because there's so much offered for you to consume. So to decide on something and afterwards have the feeling that that was the right choice and it was worthwhile watching, to me is already an extremely high bar. So I'll settle for clearing that, but if they then want to love it and recommend it to someone else, I'm over the moon. That's great, of course.
Has your view of directing evolved? Are you directing now the way you always have? Or things have changed? Your 36 questions that you either have in the back of your mind or the back of your pocket have been added to?
Maybe in subtle ways. I got to the point where in film school you're always taught the bad director asks for a result, whereas the good director pushes the actor into exploring some blah, 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 which might all be true. Obviously, like it's frowned upon to say, can you be angrier to an actress or an actor? Which is totally true. But what that did to me at some point was that it totally paralyzed me, because I was so aware of this minefield of what all is good directing and what you're not supposed to do and blah, 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 blah. And one actor, British actor that I worked with, said that to me. I was trying to come up with, basically I wanted him angrier, but there were all these detours because I couldn't say the word angry. So it had to be like, what if this morning you woke up and it was just noisy and you didn't sleep well? What would that do to And for an hour and a half, we would try to, and at some point he was like, do you want me angrier? I was like, yeah. I was like, tell me you want me angrier. And since then, I'm trying to be less afraid of doing things that are being labeled bad directing, if it just so obviously gets you to the result faster. So I still have in the back of my mind what the optimum scenario is, but especially in TV with the time constraints, sometimes you just don't have the time. And in TV, it's also less frowned upon to just, I think it's already, they appreciate if you have a clear vision, if you have a clear idea what you want in that scene, and then you can just express it. You don't have to lead them there without saying those things. So maybe in that way it has changed a little bit.
What do you enjoy most about your career?
That I get to work on stuff that then brings something into the world that didn't exist before. I think just the creative process. It's a hard thought for me that I could do a job where I don't create anything, and at the end it's just, not that those are not valid careers, but if I worked in a bank, I wouldn't see that result. The world wouldn't be obviously a different place. It would probably be, but I wouldn't see how the world is a different place now that I've been doing something in it, rather than if I didn't exist, kind of a thing. So I really enjoy that. That every minute that I spend working is an investment in my career, but also an investment in creating something out of thin air and breathing life into it. And doing that with other creative people, of which a lot of them have the same, feel the same kind of rush doing it. That's maybe the greatest part.
Did you ever have a day job where you had to just not really create, you're just...
Just like internships and things. And or being an assistant in a casting office. I suck at that stuff. And it's also a lot harder because it always sounds as if the higher jobs in the film industry are the harder ones, and the lower you get, the easier it gets. The hardest job that I've ever had was as a PA, because you can't make mistakes. As a director, if I make mistakes, nobody notices on the day, maybe nobody ever notices in the editing room, and I can make up for it in the editing room most of the time. If I make a mistake as a PA, the crew doesn't have breakfast. There's no hiding. It's very clear you've screwed up. So, you know, and that pressure, like I sleep much better directing than I would being a PA, you know. So maybe it's a personality thing, but I would not be good at a day job, I think.